Well, good morning, everybody. Hope you had a nice Christmas weekend and you got just the gift you were looking for. I sure did. And I hope it was really good and successful for you, and that you're planning a really nice New Year's weekend coming up here, and that you're going to stay safe and be sure and follow your COVID guidelines, okay? Today we're looking at Mark Sargent again. This is his question number 4, which may be the silliest one so far. I think maybe he's going downhill, But this is the king of them all when it comes to silly questions. So let's give a chance and listen to Mark Sargent, question number 4.
Number 4, moon temperature. Science has yet to address this relatively new discovery that the moon generates a cold light. We all know that in the daytime it is 90 degrees in the sunlight, 80 degrees in the shade, depending on conditions. I know I'm not going to do the Celsius conversion up here, sorry. However, at night, especially when the moon is high in the sky, we see the opposite. While it might be 50 degrees in the moonlight, it's warmer at 60 degrees in the moon's shade, sometimes showing temperature shifts of over 13 degrees Fahrenheit. In addition, under controlled experiment conditions, magnified moonlight is even colder still, again, the opposite of sunlight. We can generate this with technology today using a cold laser. The question is, why is the moon giving off a cold laser light? They had no answer.
Okay, thank you, Mark Sargent, for that insightful look into cold moonlight. First, let me tell you right away, I really doubt if it's 90 degrees out that it's 80 in the shade. I don't think the differences work out that way. At night, what is he said? There's like a 10 degree difference again. I guarantee you it's not a 10 degree difference. I've seen test after test after test of this cold moonlight thing, and it is certainly not 10 degrees. The best I've seen is maybe 3 degrees. It's right there within the error of the thermometer that they're using. We've heard time and time again that there's radiative cooling in the open areas where the ground temperature is able to radiate its heat into the atmosphere, and so the ground is cooler than the air around it. Under the trees, it's not as able to radiate heat, so the shadows under the trees, around the trees, stays warmer. But again, like I said, it's not 10 degrees. So that's the first thing. The next thing that he said was he talked about cold laser. He said that it's a relatively new technology that scientists are ignoring. First of all, scientists come up with these things, so they're not ignoring it. These were invented for a reason, and they're used for that reason. So the cold laser was developed about 40 years ago. So think about how long 40 years is. I don't think that's a relatively new development. And cold laser, I have to think about this. Cold laser is low level laser treatment. Low level laser treatment. It is not cold. It is low level because it's used for treatment of skin ailments, and they don't want it to go through the skin. So it's low level laser treatment. And colloquially, it's called cold laser because it's different than the laser beam that we see shining, like kids play with. So him calling it cold laser is incorrect. Again, if they would look up things, they would know some of this stuff. And then the last thing that I have is the second law of thermodynamics. This is one of the favorite laws that flat earthers like to quote, so you would think they would understand it a little bit. The second law of thermodynamics states that cold cannot transfer into a heat environment. You cannot transfer cold, you transfer heat. The energy that's in the heated environment can transfer to a colder environment. You can try this with any technology that you want. For example, in your refrigerator, heat is transferred out of the refrigerator into the whatever it is and dissipated, and then the colder is transferred back into the refrigerator, and that causes it to get cold. It's the removal of the heat that causes it to get cold, not the cold traveling to the heated part. Okay? So the second law of thermodynamics makes it impossible for cold to transfer to a heated environment. That is, so the moon cannot shine cold light onto the earth. That is physically impossible according to the second law of thermodynamics. I had one more thing. The sun produces light. We all know that. Even flat earthers know that. The sun produces light, and the moon reflects light. If you scientists have done tests, spectrographic tests on the sun, and they get a certain spectrograph of the sun. Then they do the same spectrograph test on the moon, and they get exactly the same spectrograph, except that the brightness is lower for the moon. They get exactly peak to peak to peak, exactly the same spectrograph for the sun and the moon. So you can see that the light from the sun is exactly the same as the light from the moon, and the moon has got to be reflected light from the sun onto the earth. So he didn't really talk about phases and eclipses and all that stuff. But I can guarantee you the flat earthers just have no clue about the science behind the light and the reflection of the moon. They haven't tested it. They just take a sort of an observation and run with it. Of course, they'll complain to us that we've never taken observations, but it has been tested, so I'll give you that. And that's about all I had for today, so I'll let you go. Be sure to subscribe and hit the like. That really does help me to feel better. And enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you in a video in the next few days. So long.